What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Thought Provoking Podcast. And we will be discussing the importance of life insurance. I'm your host, Will Brown, and I got a very special guest in the building today, East Chicago Central's alumni, Bree Harris.
Hey, y'all.
How you been doing, lady?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed and highly favored.
That's what's up. You class of 2010.
Yep, class of
of
2010.
2010. So after you graduated, did a little research.
Okay.
University of Southern Illinois is where you attended.
Yes, that's correct.
How was that experience?
That was a fun experience. It was short-lived,
Short-lived.
but it was very fun. I'm still in contact with my roommates, my dorm mates, everybody that I went to school with. So it was, it was cool that just being there for that short period of time that I still made lifelong friends, and for us to see each other 10, 15 years later and we all kind of doing good and just kind of took different fields in life, it's always kind of like good to see that. But it was a fun experience, and I encourage anybody to, even if for a semester, 1 year, 2 years, to go out and enjoy, get that experience versus saying not doing it at all.
Most definitely. And before we get into it, this episode is brought to you by a bottle of Stella Rose. And I'm lying, but you got to put it in the atmosphere so we can get some sponsorship.
Yes,
so Stella Rose,
yes.
holla at your boy, Will Brown, on Facebook, Thought Provoking Podcast. You got to speak it into existence.
Absolutely manifest.
So, lady, you end up going to college.
hmm
What did you go to school for?
First, it was nursing.
Nursing.
I was going to do nursing because I have a lot of nurses in my family. So I was like, nursing is it. And before I even graduated, because in high school, because I left Central the end of my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up graduating from Warren Township High School in Gurney, Illinois. And they had a program, which I wish Central would get, and I hope they get, where you can earn college credits and actually become a certified nursing assistant, a cosmetologist, mechanic. You can do all of this while you're in school. So before I even had my high school diploma, I was a certified CNA. And I took that course because I knew I wanted to go to school for nursing. So I'm like, that'll be my way in, my foot in the door, learning medical terminology and everything like that. So if I did that, when I'm in school, everything will kind of resonate to me already. So I went to school for nursing, and then I started taking them prerequisites, and I'm like, hold on, maybe this ain't for me. Maybe this ain't for me. And then I started doing X-ray technology.
Okay.
And then after that, I just quit.
And you are a businesswoman.
I am.
We want to highlight that.
Crystal Adore Beauty.
Okay, Crystal Adore Beauty. And how did that come about?
I was tired of working for somebody else. Literally, I was tired of working. Every day I woke up, I was like, it has to be more to life than this. It has to be more to life than this. I was really just fed up. I didn't feel like that was a quality of life. I would get up, I'm not spending time with my son. I'm driving an hour away for work because of the traffic, an hour home. I'm like, it has to be more to life. And then this here. So then my birthday came around, and I requested off my birthday. They denied my birthday request. So because they did that, I said, y'all gonna be short-staffed that day.
What is?
I said, y'all gonna be short-staffed, so I'm gonna call off. But when I called off, it was nothing in my body that was gonna make me go back. I said, I can't. I just gotta figure it out. You gotta figure something out, because that's not it. It has to be more to life than this. So I just was sitting back. I was enjoying my time off, not going to work. I had my money from my last check. I'm like, I'm gonna just kick it and play around. Then I got down to my last $70, and I was like,
something gotta give.
something gotta give. And I like, hold on, girl, you got a kid, you got bills. What you gonna do?
I know that's right.
So I took my last $70, and I said, I'm gonna teach myself how to do lash extensions. And I went on Amazon and bought a $70 lash kit, and I got busy just trying to do lashes. And from there, it led to one thing to another. I started looking up what's required for you to do lashes. They said esthetician. So I started looking up what's required for an esthetician, how long the schooling is. And then I'm telling you, just hit me like a ton of books. My whole family had been telling me, like, you do makeup really, really good. You should really take this serious. And I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. Just keep filling in the eyeshadow. Keep blushing, doing your thing. But I never took it serious until it was my time. When you ask for, like, a sign, he gonna send it. So I called my mom, and I was like, Mama, don't say nothing. Just let me read everything to you. Let me just tell you all of my information that I got, and then I'm gonna let you respond. So I read it to her. I told her how long I was gonna go to school, and then I said, okay, so what you think, Ma? She was like, I've been told you to do this. I don't know what you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
So yes, I support you 100%.
She been knew your calling.
Yeah, she knew it, but I always be like, it's the timing, So
Yeah.
some things can go bad when you go to it too quickly, and sometimes you can miss it too late. But when it's your time, it's your time. Other people see it in me, but I gotta see it within me, And when I seen that, and I heard her, I got her approval because we be grown, but we still be looking for our
Still
mama
want it.
approval,
Yeah.
our parents' approval. She gave me that approval, and like a month and a half, I was enrolled in school, and then from there, the ball just kept rolling, and everything just started falling in place.
That's a dope story, yeah. So each guest that I bring on, I always ask the question on a scale of 1 to 10, rate yourself mentally, and thank God you got a business because we could get your answer on that. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate yourself business-wise?
And to be very, very honest, it's a tricky question, but overall, I'm going to just say like a 5. And I'm going to say that because I feel like I'm figuring it out and I'm doing good for not having a blueprint to it before. But could I be better? I feel like I can definitely be better. But for where I am, I do feel like I've grown a lot every day. I've been doing it for like 4 years now. I've had my own business. I graduated high school. No, I graduated esthetician school in 2017. Okay. So I've been doing it since 2017. And I've learned certain things along the way, doing my own research and things like that. But I know 100% when it comes to doing my business taxes and opening up business bank accounts and literally having a paper trail. Because in the beginning, we getting all this fast money, cash, lashes for this for that. You're not thinking about it. It's kind of like I'll spend $500 in a day because I made $500, and I'll be like, oh, I'll get that back tomorrow. But I didn't make $500,
Exactly, yeah.
So in that part, I was kind of messing up. I'm slowly but surely kind of trying to fix those mistakes I made in the beginning. But if I had to rate myself, I would say like a 5.
Okay, mentally, where you at?
2.
2.
2 to 5. But that's just overall mental. Like I said, the last year, 2 years has not been the best for me. So trying to still be a full-time mom, full-time business owner, now a newly single parent mom, so my mental is not all the way there, but I still put my best foot forward. I still put a smile on my face, and nobody would ever tell what I go through on a daily because I just hide it so well. So,
well, ladies, since you at a 2, I always want to extend the invitation that if you ever need to vent, if there's any words of encouragement that I can give you, or anybody that's listening out there, definitely want to extend that offer to you, because the one thing about it is, I always say on the show and in real life, a lot of times we struggle with telling others, hey, I'm struggling in this department because we scared of other people's reaction. This person is going to spread our business to someone else, and we got to stop that. So, we need to become family, be there for each other,
right.
In everybody's time of need, and just, give as much support as possible.
Yeah, I accept that.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, myself, when it comes to mentally, I'm at an 8. This has been a good time for me. I've had enough time to do a little self-reflection. Things are just good in my life right now. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, when it comes to business, I would say I'm at a strong 7. If I get these next couple of ideas off for this podcast coming, I'm gonna definitely be at a 10 because I got some good stuff coming down the pipeline. So I definitely be at a 10 is where I'm at with that. So, lady, I always like to break the ice. Either normally I'll promote something or I try and get an icebreaker going out here. And I got these conversation cards here.
Okay.
Some relationship debates. I don't know if you want to mix them up a little bit or do you want to just
He
draw?
probably was trying to set me up. Let me go ahead and
Yeah, go on, mix them up.
don't be cheating.
Hopefully you get something good.
Hard questions. So do I pick or you pick?
You can pick.
Oh, now this is a long.
Oh, Lord.
The card reads, a woman catches her husband in a non-sexual emotional affair. She tells him it's worse than non-emotional sexual affair. Do you agree? Why or why not? I feel like emotionally cheating is worse than sexually cheating. And I feel that way because men will tell you, oh, I just had sex with her. It was nothing but just sex. It was just a one night stand. I have no feelings for her. Now if you to have feelings for this lady, that cuts deeper, because I'm supposed to be your best friend. You supposed to come and tell me everything, but now you opening it up to this other person. You pillow talking to her. That's where you draw on the line. So I would be cut way deeper for me to know that you were emotionally attached to this woman versus sexually. Because sometimes sexually, I probably wasn't there. I was probably at work. Nothing that's an excuse. Not saying it's an excuse at all, but that's more likely to happen. And I can kind of not deal with it, but we can talk it out. Let me figure out why you felt you need to go do that. Did you feel that way because I've been working all the time and I just kind of like let myself go? I'm not getting my hair done like I used to, my nails done like I used to. I'm not just being what I used to be because of life. So I do understand that life happens. So I'm going to talk to you and figure out what I did. Not that I always have to do something, but let's communicate as to why you did this. Did you just need enough? Was I not giving you the attention that you need or the sexual satisfaction? We're on topic, we're off topic. Some of my clients, we talk and everything like that, and one person got cheated on because they didn't like a certain sexual position that their man desired. And because of that, she wasn't willing to help satisfy his need. He found it elsewhere. So in a sense, not saying that it was okay for him to go cheat, but I kind of got to understand, like, you're right, I wasn't giving you what you needed, so you had to go and find it elsewhere. Let me try to see what I can do so that we can be on the same page. Let's try to find a common ground to kind of even things out. You got to compromise in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So I feel like if it was just a sexual act, he might have just needed a nut from the girl. He don't even know her name. You know how guys be. He just needed a nut. But when you confided in a woman, you love that lady, and that's what's gonna hurt me.
Well, I'm not a woman, but I want to put it out there. Black men don't cheat.
Oh,
just
my
for the
God.
record. Black men don't cheat. So,
The
fellas, if
podcast
you're watching
is
this,
over.
you're a black
the
man.
The podcast is over because we finna start.
I
We
got us,
starting off
fellas.
lying already.
We do not cheat.
We starting off lying.
But I will say, although I'm not a woman, I agree with you 100% when you say that connection with a person got to be damaging, because I know as a man, I said it in my last podcast, I've done cheating and I've been cheated on.
hold on. But you just said black men don't cheat.
Yeah.
So you just contradicted yourself.
Yeah.
I caught you.
I wasn't a black man. I was a
what-
black
what-
boy at the time that I was doing the cheating. I wasn't a black man. I was a black boy, so I
Okay,
get an
that's a
excuse.
good comeback.
Yeah,
That's a good comeback.
Yeah, but you know, when there is a emotional connection, I think that it gets real, because as a man, you can sleep with a woman, get yours off, and everything that you were saying leading up to it, you don't mean it. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay, cool. I don't really feel that way. So I could imagine that connection right there cutting a little deeper, especially if you're a person that feel like you're giving your all to somebody. You know, you're communicating, you're asking, is everything okay? And this person, yeah. Behind your back, they're doing everything under the sun. So I definitely got to agree with you. I'm going to go ahead and pull me a card. Hopefully I'll get something light.
Nah.
Ooh. A man is dating a woman and she becomes pregnant. Once the baby is born, he finds out she didn't give the child his last name. He breaks up with her. Is he overreacting? I gotta say, you definitely overreacting. I could understand the frustration. I could understand being upset. But at the end of the day, when you have a child, they give you the papers right there for you to sign. And if she chooses to go with another name, go to court. Go to court. There definitely needs to be a conversation as to why you don't have my last name. Maybe it's something that she ain't told you.
Right.
Somewhere along them lines didn't happen. So I definitely see you being upset, but you just flat say it's over without getting an understanding of why. I think you overreact.
I don't know what a reason would be, though. Because if you think it's not my baby, then I'm still going to break up with you because you had some infidelities throughout the relationship that you didn't tell me about. So even if we go to court, I'm in court with my man. We in court today, but I still got to go home and lay with you. That I'm not doing. If we got to go to court, that means we couldn't see eye to eye. We couldn't talk this out. So therefore, I'm going to just go ahead and dismiss myself from the equation. But I definitely see, I mean, I don't know why she would do that. You know, I don't know. She must know to me that this might not be your baby.
What if his family is just horrible?
I mean, then you still had a baby by him. If that was the case,
But he might not have been, with the mix. But the family is just, like, could you imagine, being a person with the Dahmer last name, Jeffrey Dahmer? Could you imagine, like, you know what I'm saying? So in a situation like that, you might want to say,
okay, so if that's the case, do she not plan on marrying this man? So she's okay to have his child, but you don't want to marry the man, because if you marry the man, and it's just how I feel, like I say, you're a man. So if you have a son, your son's going to carry on your last name. If you have a daughter, she's going to get married. She's not going to carry on your last name. So he may decide, I don't want no more kids, but this is his son, and his son don't even have his last name. Mm-hmm. Now he don't have nobody to continue on their name.
That legacy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I would be mad too, and then I'm going to still take you to court, and we're going to get my baby name changed, because if my name is on the birth certificate, I have a right too. So she can't just say, no, I'm not giving him your last name. This is both our child. If we want to do a DNA test, we can do that, and then we're going to have to go through court, and my baby's going to have my last name.
Most
so
definitely.
I don't think he's overreacting, because my son got his dad's last name, and I wouldn't have changed. Like, if we were in a good space, I wouldn't have told him, like, no, this your baby, but you're not getting the last name. I wouldn't have told him that. He would have been like, man, is you crazy? Or whatever. Okay. So I don't think he overreacting too much. I think she just being sneaky, and she hiding something.
So, ladies, you hear that from a woman's perspective. If you ain't giving that baby that man's last name, according to Bree, you got some nonsense going on.
Because if you didn't think he was good enough for whatever, you shouldn't have had a baby by him. I feel like that becomes a problem where people will have a baby by a man, but they don't want to marry the man. You tied in with this man for the next 18 years of your life with the baby. You can get married and you can get a divorce too. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, how was he worthy enough to make you a mother, or for you to carry his child, but he's not worthy enough for you to marry him?
Most definitely.
Or for your child to have his last name. Because whether he had the same last name or not, that's still their dad.
Mm-hmm. I like that. So that was a nice little icebreaker. Mm-hmm. Got the conversation flowing. You ready for topic time?
I'm ready.
Let's get it, lady. The importance of life insurance. So you got whole life, you got term life. And I want to put this information. There's a lady named Linda Newman who works for Prime America. You can reach her at 219-669-8926 if you want to get you some life insurance, get it explained to you, the difference between whole life versus term insurance, the benefits of it, and just get that information to yourself, family, friends, whatever the case may be. How important is life insurance to you?
1,000% important.
1,000%.
Yes. And that was good that you did bring up both options, term life and home life. Mm-hmm. And I know, just from my knowledge, term life is cheaper. Whole life is almost like double the cost. But it's more beneficial. More options, yeah. You can borrow from it and things like that. So that's good. Term life is normally like a 30-year fix. And if I'm not right, correct me.
No,
can you, once you reach that 30 year, do you got to start all over again? Like, you get none of the benefits when it's the term life. So say I live the 30 years, do I not get any benefits from the money that I've been putting in for the last 30 years?
So if we starting with whole life is a cash value. Like you said, you can borrow off of it.
Okay.
You can withdraw cash as a loan. It is a more expensive premium versus term. It's not a cash value. Term, you don't have the option to borrow against it. It is a lower premium where you don't pay as much monthly. Mm-hmm. And after the 30 years, the whole purpose behind it is you get the insurance with hopes of, at the end of that 30 years, you saved up enough capital to where in the event someone passes away, or, you have expenses that you want to take care of, everything is constantly paid for, and that burden is not left on someone else. So that's kind of like the difference behind it, hoping that you pay this little amount of money and you're covered, but you're working towards still being debt free and being able to take care of that stuff. So that's kind of like what it is.
Okay.
I gotta say this. I am tired of the GoFundMe's. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of the barbecues. the fish fries.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yes.
tired of it. I don't contribute to it anymore because I personally feel like when you're an adult, there's no reason why you don't have life insurance. Now, I know a lot of families, just don't have the finances to the degree that you think you need it. But if you could buy every pair of Jordans, Yeezy slides, sandals, whatever the case may be, every Nike, this, that, and the other, you can spend the money and get you some life insurance. And what I don't understand about people in general, when you approach the conversation about life insurance, people instantly start to feel like, I ain't planning on dying no time soon.
Exactly.
So why do I need life insurance? Not thinking tomorrow might be your day.
Yes.
You just never know. You can get out, head to work, be on that highway. Next thing you know, you're in a car crash.
People dying in their sleep, sitting
In
in the
their
house.
sleep.
They just sleeping in the bed or just doing what we doing right now, bullets flying through windows
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be. You getting pulled over by a routine traffic stop, you're dying. Like, so to say that is kind of like you gotta expand your mind.
Most
That's
definitely.
you still living like kind of like an ignorant life. You're not being hip to what's going on in the world because a lot of people think they're invincible, and I think that's one of the number one things that people think is that they think that it can't happen to them. Yes, we see all this stuff happening on the news, we hear about it, it's happening over here, over there, but don't nothing like that happen
Most
to
definitely.
me until it happens to you. And now you're trying to play catch up and you're trying to scrub, ask everybody for can you put in for this, can you put in for that? But you never thought it was going to happen to you.
Yeah.
And me, some may know or may not know, I just lost my son's father 3 months ago. Thank God he did have life insurance for the simple fact that his kids are okay
Okay.
when they turn 18. But because he did not put a beneficiary down, we didn't have access to the money to bury him. So people always like, oh, my kid's gonna be straight, but again, what about your burial? How do you want us to go? A lot of people, and especially in our youth, from just what I know, we don't plan on dying anytime soon, so we don't even have a living will. We don't have our wishes written down. We may talk over it, with our friends or something like that, like, hey, if I go, I need y'all to wear this or wear that, but do you want to be cremated?
Yeah.
Where do you want to be buried? A lot of us live in Indiana, but we may not be from Indiana. We're from Chicago, still have a lot of family from Chicago. Do you want to be buried in Chicago? Do you want to be buried in Indiana? So I feel like that's a lot of things that we don't think about. But my son's father, he left his kids money. But when it came down to burying him, we was looking like, okay. Because in the beginning, they told us that we could use the money. So we was at like $10,000. That was just for the bury. Yeah, that was just the embalming, just the casket. That didn't include anything else. We was just at that. So we had everything else kind of like covered. But when they told us that we couldn't use that $10,000, we was like, oh, okay. So now what we gonna do?
It's real.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I gave, me and his mom, we did everything for his service, but it was like, I still got to take care of your son here, so I can't go broke myself trying to make sure that you buried, because I'm going to give you a proper burial. We're going to make sure you're okay, because at the end of the day, you're my son's father. My son is going to want to see his dad, go visit him. So I'm going to make sure that you have your last resting ground is going to be in a proper area. You're going to go in a good way, because my kid has to say goodbye to you. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that that is a memorable thing, because he's going to remember that forever. So it's not going to be just a little barbecue in the back or whatever. Not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but I wanted it to be something bigger, a true celebration of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I made sure that we're going to go all out for you, because you would have did the same thing for me. He would have did the same thing if it was me, and then you did so much while you was here. I feel like you deserved that. So I'm going to make sure you go, we send you home the right way. But it did become a burden, because I can't go broke. We all trying to figure this out, and we were so happy when we found out he had life insurance. It was like, good, perfect. Then they hit us like, no, y'all can't use that, because it's going strictly to the next of kin, which is like your kids. If you have children, so it went to his kids. So they're set, but they can't get into their 18, and they're all minors. My son will be 7.
Wow.
I still have all these years that I have to take care of him, and you were a full-time dad just as much as I was a full-time mom. So that hurts me, because your absence is now going, and everything that came with you is gone. So now I have to play catch up and try to make up for where you know feel
Where
you try
you
to
would've
feel
filled in,
yeah,
right.
you know what I'm saying. So I think I would have never thought about that. And since that has happened, it made me think about why parents who may be in a good relationship for co-parenting don't have life insurance policies on each other,
Yeah.
you know, and have each other as the beneficiaries, because you're going to be left to take care of our kid. You know what I'm saying? So he would have left me something, or I would have left him something. It would have been like, okay, I'm using all of this for our kid. Now I do understand not every relationship or co-parent relationship is the same or as good as mine may have been, where people like, she not gonna do nothing good with that money. She just gonna spend it on this, and that, and it's gonna be gone in 3 months, or he gonna be out here buying J's and doing this and doing that. So I do understand where that kind of concern do come in, but I think we need to start working on having living wills for our money for when we pass and what's going to happen with that money. Because if you just leave the money to your kids can turn 18 and they can spend the money in 3 months as well.
And blow it.
Yeah, and below it. Versus you say you write a living will to say that, you know, my child will get this on their 18th birthday. They will get this if they go to college, you know, if they're doing this with their life, excuse me, that they can get this money. If my kid is a crackhead, you know what I'm saying?
It
I don't
happens.
want my kid to have this money, you know what I'm saying? So I think that those are things that we should talk about outside of just saying have a life insurance policy, because there's so many things that you can do with that life insurance policy.
And I'm glad you touched on a few points that I want to go over. So you guys were just co-parenting. You all wasn't
Correct.
actually together.
No, we were not.
So, you know, people ought to give you your flowers while they can give them to you, and they're well deserved. That you and this man were just co-parenting. You guys weren't together. Technically, that wasn't your responsibility
Right.
to chip in to do anything.
Right.
You know, you're responsible for the child that you all created.
Right.
So for you to step up and assist with the family and make this thing possible, although he tried to do the right thing and get insurance, he just didn't finish it off to where it was set up in a way to where it takes care of the burial
Right.
and so forth. You're to be commended behind that, because I
Thank
think a
you.
lot of people feel like, well, it ain't really my responsibility, and they just let it be how it be.
And I got that. I got that because I was dating someone at the time, and when I was like, okay, I gotta get this done, I gotta go to get this, like I was I dressed him and like everything. So they was like, I just got a question, like, why you doing everything? Why the family? Which the family was there toe and toe, you know. But I'm talking to you. I'm just confiding in
Right,
you, you know,
yeah.
about things that's on my plate. And then he was like, why the family ain't doing this? And I didn't say nothing. And he was like, well, I guess you are his family. Yes, and that's
I
still
know.
my family. You know what I'm saying? We have to co-parent together. We have a great relationship for the sake of our kids, you know. So that kind of, I was like, that is my family. You know, I'm doing this because that's my son's father and my friend. Like, I've known the man since I was 13 years old. That's my friend. So if it was one of my homegirls, I'm going to do what I can do for my homegirl. You know what I'm saying? The same way I would do for my son's father, because that's my friend at the end of the day.
And you spoke about, you know, things becoming a burden to the ones that's left. Not to say that, you know, you are going to go broke, or, you know, you were just unwilling when you say the word burden. But myself, I've had life insurance since I was 19. I had my first son at 19, and I got life insurance, and I ended up getting $300,000. A lot of people will say, well, why you get so much? And I look at, why not?
Yeah.
You know, if this is an opportunity that, you know, I plan to be here as long as I can, see my kids grow and become me and get married and be here as long as possible. But I don't know what life will bring to me. So I got $300,000 figuring, well, you know what? All my bills, burial, everything will be taken care of. In the event that I go early, at the age of 18, my son will get a lump sum of money. I paid into Social Security, so he'll have that check that's going to his mom, and,
Right.
you know, you'll be set with that. But also, if you blow it all at 18, at 25, you'll get another installment. And I would hope that, you
He
know,
learned from the
you're
first
as
time.
mature as I was to
Yeah.
where you can sit there and say, I want to buy my first home. Buy it.
Yeah.
I'm getting married. Buy it. I have my first child. I got twins. Whatever the case may be, you have access to this money at the age of 30. If you blew it at 25, I pray to God that I put enough sense into you. By 30, you get it. I pray to God. But if you blow it, at the end of the day, I've done my part.
Yes.
I'm not here no more. Here you go. And I never forget I had a conversation with a homeboy of mine years ago, and we were talking about the life insurance, and he had it through his job, and he had some, but he was saying like that amount was ridiculous. And I expressed to him, what I just said on here, why I did it the way I did, and how much, and he basically said, "Don't nobody leave nothing to me. I ain't finna do that." And I just was like, wow,
You gonna continue the cycle?
you gonna
or you wanna
continue that
change it?
cycle, and my thing is, okay, nobody left it to you, but you have the opportunity to change all of that.
Right.
And I don't know if he ever did or he didn't, but that was his mentality. I had another buddy of mine who sat there and he told me, I got life insurance through the job. He never thought about getting life insurance outside of the job because he felt like, I'm going to be here. I don't plan to go nowhere. And I just was thinking in my head, okay, none of us plan to do anything.
Right.
But did you ever take into consideration once you get fired, if that happens, there's no more life insurance. If you go and you get disabled,
Right.
there's no more life insurance because you're not actively working this job, so they don't consider you paying into the policy. That's it.
Right.
And then too, a lot of us don't even read the fine print on what the stipulations
Stipulations
is
we
with
just
this.
sign in like,
You
oh,
just
okay, that
sign
sound
it
good.
and you go. Even if you do get life insurance, again, like you spoke to, how is it set up? Because it's great that you leave stuff to the kids or whatever the case is, but when they're a minor, they don't make decisions on this money. They have to wait. You still have to have this parent in place or a family member
Right.
that has enough sense to do right, so this money get distributed accordingly.
Properly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. So at some point, we got to get a little better at looking into life insurance. Don't take my word. I'm not an agent. I can't break down and tell you what's right for you. Of course, they look at health. They look at, are you a smoker or are you a drinker? All of these things play a role in how they factor in what you're actually going to pay. But it's well worth it. You can set up generations.
And I heard actually that other ethnicities, they become wealthy from that.
Yeah.
You hear like, oh, my grandmother or my parents left me this house out in Calabasas or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? They inherit money, and there's not so much. Because isn't that how Donald Trump became?
I'm not sure.
You're right. See, yeah, his grandfather or daddy or somebody left him a lot of money. So that's how Donald Trump became who he didn't work. Then I was reading something just last night, and they were saying that only 3% of millionaires actually work to be a millionaire. I think that they inherited in some way, somehow invest in it, whether it's stocks or whatever the case may be. That's how they became and got their wealth, not because they sat and worked a job all day every day and then they just became wealthy or they saved all of their money. They really inherited the money. So you have to think of it that way. That's how you create generational wealth. You're going to leave something to your kids, whether it's your property, whether it's your house, whether it's your cars, whether it's just your legacy. Give something for them. So and I had a family member who said, ain't nobody finna get rich off of me. I ain't getting one. I'm gone. I'm not finna leave no money for y'all to get rich. And they wasn't paying the life insurance policy. Somebody else was gonna pay it. I just need you to sign for it. They didn't want to do that because they're like, I'm not finna get rich off of me. But who do you think gonna bury you?
Lord.
How do you? Tell me what your plan is for how you want us to send you home. Because if you don't got no money, sir, how do you think we're gonna send you home? You know what I'm saying?
Somebody had that same mentality towards this individual to say, oh, okay, you're right. I'm not going to get rich off of you, but I'm not going to spend my funds to put you away properly.
Exactly. So what do you expect us to do in that situation? So I just think that's why I say some of the ignorance come in. And it's a lack of wanting to know the knowledge. Because like you say, we can have all the resources in the world to say this is what this life insurance policy do, this is what this one do. It's very affordable. You can take it out 2 checks. It's this, and that. People just like, nah, I'm not doing that. Ain't nobody finna get, like you say, and ain't nobody do it for me.
Yeah.
But when you be happy if somebody did do that for you, do you think you could be better off in life had somebody did that for you? So do that for your kids. Do that for the people that still have to be here after you, and stop the cycle and start something new versus continue to live that same cycle because it didn't do nothing. Start creating generational wealth for you and your kids.
Most definitely. And by us both coming from the same city, coming from the same high school, we know so many of the same people. it's so depressing to see year after year the beefs and the fallouts, people dying. Now all of a sudden you seeing more and more people with health situations committing suicide. And not to say everybody doesn't have life insurance, but I always think, man, why leave that burden to your mother, to your father? Especially a lot of these young boys that's hollering they own demon time, gang this.
They scary.
Oh my God.
They really think they made a bulletproof or
Tell
any
me
type.
about it.
They just proof, bulletproof, car crash proof, accident proof, like everything. They do not fear nothing in life.
And when the death hits so close to you, because all of us have experienced it, but again, people that we've went to school with, they've lost their lives. You keep seeing the same trend. Let's put up some money to bury this person. I won't say this person's name because it becomes a touchy subject in our city. But there's an individual that died over 16 years ago. And he still don't have a headstone. How do y'all know who y'all out there talking to?
Right.
Who you paying your respects to? Just a patch of grass. When you go out there, you got, somewhere in this area, I'm sure he's here.
Right.
It's ridiculous to me. But you can stop that trend by getting life insurance. Don't put that burden on anybody. If you out there living life how you want to, reckless, and you on demon time and all of this catchy stuff that you hear the rappers say, get some life insurance.
Yeah.
So when you go, because eventually you're going to go,
Yeah.
there's money to take care of all these expenses, and nobody has to do a fish fry for you.
Yeah.
A rib dinner, a kickback, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Especially when they spend the money on the designer.
Oh, Lord.
You really go to Neiman Marcus, you went to Saks, you went to the Gucci store, you went to the Neiman Marcus store or whatever, the Louis store. You dripped up, iced out, you got a new chain, you got this, you got that, but you don't got no life insurance. So when it's time for you to go, you're not getting a proper burial. That you're not going the same way you left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you was on top before you left, and now it's showing in real life what's going on, and then your people that's supposed to look out for you, slowly but surely, year after year, they're gonna start disappearing.
Oh, Lord.
They gonna check on your kids, and everybody gonna be there in the beginning. Everybody checking on you, your mama, your kids, and everything like that. But life still goes on for you. Not saying that they forgot about you, but their life is gonna go on, and your family is still gonna be struggling, left with your debts, and left with trying to still pay off, whether they took out a loan, a credit card, debt or whatever to pay for your funeral expenses. They're still gonna be left with that.
Most
But you was living your best life when you were here.
My grandmother passed away, and her life insurance policy, I think, was like $10,000, $11,000, and we had to just chip in for like flowers, the basic stuff like that. But again, learning from that, seeing back in those days, people only had enough money to do what they can do.
Yeah.
Just a new age, like you said, all of the designer that people buy, and then too, that's something that I'm glad that you brought up. It's a trend across the board. When it's your homeboy, y'all be sitting there talking about, man, I know my guy got me and my kid need anything. It's not a real thing. That first year you pass away, they going to celebrate your birthday, the anniversary that you passed away. That second year, you might get a party. Everybody get together. You're going to be all down everybody's timeline on social media.
You so much.
My boy.
Look over us.
All of that. Mourn you till I join you. All of that
Right.
old silly goofy stuff. But guess what? That kid's still not going to get no help. That mother's not going to get no help.
Yep.
Get life insurance. And I want to point this out too, because I don't think a lot of people realize this too. Get it now, because life insurance takes a while to mature.
Yeah.
Just because you get it today, a lot of times that don't kick in the very same day.
Yeah.
It has to mature.
Yep, because I lost my brother to gun violence last year, and when my dad called for the life insurance, they was like, he said he got shot, and it was like, oh well, you have to let me check to see if your policy is over 3 years old, because in order for it to be for us to pay out for a gunshot wound, the policy has to be at least 3 years old. My dad was like, yeah, it's well over 3 years old, and we had no issues. But had he just got that life insurance policy 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, a year and 364 days,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have gotten anything. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have gotten anything. So that's definitely important to look into. Suicides, you know, you can get it on a person. Sometimes they don't pay ever for a suicide.
No.
Or some, but I did just read one because I got something in the mail and they were saying that they don't pay for a suicide unless it's after a year. So it have to be since the year that you had the policy. Then after that, they would cover suicide.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is. It seemed like you've experienced a lot these past couple of years, as you alluded to already.
Yeah.
What do you do to clear your mind of all of this? Oh, get you a little sip.
I drink, which is not good. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm still trying to cope. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna just be really honest. I'm really just like a numb person. I'm just here. My presence is just here, but my mind is not here. My mind will be thinking 50 other things just while we're having this conversation. When I lose people, I block it out. I don't look at them no more. So like I lost my best friend at 27 years old. I have pictures of her in my phone. Anytime I go past her pictures, I just roll past the picture. Anytime like a memory pop up, I'll see it and I'll like repost it and I'll, you know, say something, but I never look at them. It's almost like I look past them or I look through them, but I never look at them because it makes it too real for me. My brother, like I said, he was on my screensaver. I look at my phone every day and it's a picture of he and I look at myself. I never look at him. Even though I have him on my screensaver, I still don't look at him, you know. So it's almost like I just put it in the back. So that's why when I say my mental is like at a 2, because I know it's not right, but that's just how I get through for now. I haven't figured out what works for me, whether it's writing, journaling, talking. I don't like to get emotional in front of people. So every time I think about talking to somebody, I'd be like, so she gonna have me lay on the couch and be like, so how does that make you feel? I don't want to talk about my feelings. That's one thing I don't like, getting in tune with how I feel, because I know it's kind of like a dark place somewhere along the lines. It's gonna get kind of dark and I don't want to go there. So I just mask it. I smile, make other people laugh, you know, and I just keep going on as if nothing ever happened. It's almost like I'm numb. When my son's father just passed, I experienced shock for like the first time. When I tell you I was just literally in shock, I didn't tell my son for almost a week that his dad died. I didn't tell him right away because they were so close that I couldn't even bring myself to tell him. Like, I started throwing up the day that I tried to tell him. I started throwing up at the thought of telling him.
Just expressing it to him.
Yeah, like I literally just went into the bathroom and I just was hurtled over my toilet. And I was just like, I can't do this. I'm trying to figure out how to do it because I know that my son is going to feed off my energy. So if I'm messed up, I know he's going to be messed up. So that's why I had to wait for me to kind of like become numb, because I knew it was going to come. Once I kind of became numb, I was able to tell my son and be strong for him, because I knew that was, my main thing that I had to do was be strong for him, because if he seen me crying, he was going to cry. But once I told him, he was kind of like, I got him a dog as a coping gift. So the day that I told him was the day that we were getting a dog. So he was just like so excited about getting a dog. And he just kept asking everybody like, where's my dad? Where's my dad? You know, he asked his dad's mom. He asked my sister and was like, you know, Granny, where's my dad? And she was like, he's in heaven. And he was like, no, he's not. Like, I just got to see it for myself, you know. But later on the day, that's because he had the dog. He was showing everybody. So he's asking, he's curious, but it's not really
it's not
it's not hitting him yet. But when we got home, we couldn't even make it home. We was in a car driving, and then it just like hit him. So I'm driving. I got one hand behind me trying to hold him. I'm trying to drive because we're on the expressway. I'm like, baby, we almost at home. And then when we got home, he just started like saying like the crazy, not crazy, but it was just things that kind of cut me. He was like, my dad's supposed to watch me play football. He was like, I want to play WWE with my dad. Like, it was just certain things that I know that's what he's going to miss from his dad. So I couldn't take it no more. So I was just crying with him. And then he looked at me. It was so funny because my son literally grabbed my face and was like, Mommy, are you crying? And I was like, yeah. Then he's like, Mommy, don't cry. So he's trying to be strong for me.
Console you.
Yes, and it was so crazy because I'm trying to prep him for the funeral. So I'm like, okay, baby, it's okay if you cry. You know, it's going to be a lot of people in there. It's going to be really sad. So if you want to cry, just Just let it out. Mommy here. I got you. You could just hide your face inside of me. You'll be okay, okay? I was the last one to walk through the church to go and see him, and my knees got so weak. My daddy had to like carry me down, like hold me down the aisle to go see him, and I just started crying so bad that I didn't even see my son's father in the casket because I was just so, my eyes was filled with tears. I was just crying so bad that I didn't see him, you know. But my sister was telling me, she was like, oh my God, you should have seen Mir. He was like, Mommy, it's okay. Mommy, look at me. I'm okay. Look, Mommy, see, I'm not crying. I'm not crying. So he was just trying to like hold me and hug me, but I was just so out of it that I didn't even know none of that. But it was just so crazy that my son was, it turned around. I'm thinking like I'm trying to prep him for it. I didn't even prep myself for it. Like, you still got to go through it too, because I'm so focused, you know, on him. So that was just a lot, and I go through it, and then it's like I blank it out. I was be telling my son that I told myself that my son's father is just at work. You know, he's just working a long shift. But I sit and I mess myself up, and that's when I be getting my feelings. I be like, 5 years from now, he's still gonna be at work. 10 years from now, like, he's still gonna be at work. Like, he's just not coming back, huh? So you just gone, you know. So it's like sometimes I get hit with reality, and I just snap myself back out of it, and I just be like, girl, what are you doing? Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna tell you what I want to do for you if you're okay with it, because the one thing I want to express to you is, you know, holding it in, burying it, playing mind tricks on yourself to believe that you know what the truth is, but I'm better dealing with it by making myself believe this for the time being. If you're no good to yourself mentally, you can't be there for your son or anybody else that's affected by it. But at the same time, you have to come to a place to where you can get it off your chest as well. And therapy comes in many forms.
Right.
This podcast right here, it's my therapy. A lot of the topics that we have on here is everyday conversation that I have with different individuals. Things that's on my mind. So when I get on the mic and I can express and go back and forth with you or anybody else, it's my form of therapy. You know, it doesn't have to be you laying on the couch. It could be strictly friends, family members, or somebody that you just met. You know, however it comes to you. But I didn't graduate. She was a year older than me. But Marcia Mack, she's a life coach. And I didn't ever know what a life coach was. But she explained it as a person who basically coaches you through the situation after the fact, to encourage you to know that life still goes on. Everything is going to be better. You know, similar to what I just gave you. If your mental is not right, you're no good to nobody else.
Right.
And just walk you into the what next phase. So I definitely want to reach out to her and connect y'all if you're okay with that, because I definitely think that it's something that's needed. But again, I don't want to push you to do something that you're not ready for, because it's definitely a fresh situation to you.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I also want to ask, how's your son dealing with the news and the scenario that my father's no longer here?
He is. I got him in therapy. So like even like his school. So when I just, you know, the school year kind of started, and it was a reality check when it was time to fill out the paperwork. You know, when they asked about mom and they asked about dad. So when she gave me the paper, I just put on there, and dad passed away. It was literally not like barely just a month. You know, so I put that on there, and then she looked at it, and she looked at me, and she was like, thank you so much for letting me know that. We do have resources here, because that is a traumatic situation. So he is working with a therapist at his school that she come and see him like once or twice a week, and just trying to let things off, you know, in his own type of way. But when he first went, she was, you know, trying to talk about it, and I was like, so how did it go, baby? You know, what happened? And he was like, I told her don't talk. He was like, I told her don't talk because she wanted to talk about a certain somebody, and I didn't want to talk about that, you know. So she kind of just like played it off, so because he didn't know her, so he's not gonna, you know, open up right away. He's like, I don't want to talk about that with you, you know. So I know that he needed, because my son said something to me one day that just broke my heart. We were leaving Red Lobster, and I remembered when he had crossed the street going to school, so he was crossing the street, and I was like, Amir, you didn't look both ways when you were crossing the street to get to the school bus. You have to be careful. And I was like, he was like, but I was trying to hurry up and get to the bus. I said, so do you want to just die, you know, trying to get to the bus? And then he was like, yeah. And I was like, Amir, why would you say that? Well, I do. And I was like, why do you want to die? Like I said, so you're okay with just leaving me here, you know, all by myself? And he was like, yeah. but I'll watch over you with my dad. So, and then like again, he was like, I can't wait to die. And then I was like, Amir, he was like, okay, Mom, I didn't mean that. I'm just saying, I can't wait to see my dad. To like, I can visit my dad. You know what I'm saying? So my son is not okay. I had made a post on social media one day, and I was just like, it was like his 2-month anniversary, and I was just like, people always ask us, how you doing? How you doing? My line is, we doing good. We doing okay. We hanging in there day by day, day by day. I said, but the truth is, we're not okay. Mm-hmm. We just making it day by day. You know what I'm saying? So he is up and down. Some days he run in my room, and I'm thinking, because I got him the dog, remember? I thought the dog bit him one day, and he was just crying. I was like, Amir, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he was just like, I just miss Daddy. I just want my dad. I want my dad. He'll hear him in his sleep, and he's saying something about daddy, like in his sleep and stuff like that. So it's definitely been a toll. It's been a challenge. Like I said, it's been 3 months. So it's still very, very freshly new. And he was a full-time dad. So for my son not to have his dad, never lived without the man, it's been hard. But I'm trying to figure it out, the best way that I can to be there for him while dealing with it myself. Because my son's father died July 3rd, 2021. My brother died July 7th, 2020. So it was less than a year from the time I lost my brother to the time I lost my son's father.
And it's so close.
And it was so close. So right after dealing with my son's father death, I still had to celebrate my brother's 1-year anniversary of his death. So it was just like, I can't catch my breath to deal with this. And then the crazy part about it, last year in 2020, I lost 3 family members in the month of July. I hate the month of July. I hate the month of July. So literally, I was at 3 funerals in the same month of July last year. And I just was praying to God, like, please, like, just give my family a break. Like, we can't take no more. We can't take no more. Mm-hmm. Boom, you hit me with something that was worse than all of them, because now I have to look at his son every day. It hurts me 10 times more, because I can deal with the other ones in my own way. You know what I'm saying? I can be supportive for my family, my dad, my sisters, and things like that. But my son, when I can't take away that hurt from him, that one, it messes me up in a whole different type of way. So it's like I'm trying to grieve my brother and the other 2 family members, which were older family members, still hard, but it makes it a little bit more okay. My brother was 24 years old. My son's father was 31 years old. So it's like, that's in between. That's like right where I am, So I'm just like, I can't catch my breath. I'm not catching my breath, so I just have to tune it out, because I don't know how I would be if I dealt with it right now. Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So he overall, I'm gonna just say he's okay. Yeah, but
he'll get through it most definitely. Yeah. Did the other family members have life insurance?
Not that I'm aware of. Oh, wait. Oh, my other family members. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Everybody else had life insurance. My family, we're really, really close knit. Okay. So we are on the life insurance policy type of deal. Like my dad has, he's a truck driver. Okay, cool. So he most definitely, like, anything can happen. So I need to make sure everybody is covered. Mm. So yeah, everybody else had life insurance. We was prepared for that. We never had to do the GoFundMe or anything like that. Everything went smoothly, for the most part.
That's good. Yeah. And you have life insurance yourself, right?
I do. I have multiple.
That's a beautiful thing.
And my son's father had accidental death, and he died in a car accident.
Okay.
So he had his regular life insurance policy, and the kids also getting an accidental death life insurance policy. So he did good with that one. Good job, baby daddy.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing to have. So if you're listening out there, make sure you get the information that's needed. Get you some life insurance. You can see from her story and many others, it can help. You don't want to burden anybody else. You don't want to put that financial situation on someone who may not even have it to do. Mm-hmm. So make sure it doesn't cost you much, $30-$40. I think I'm up to 400,000 or 500,000. I got to double check, but I paid.
I'm at like 250,000.
I paid $89. Mm-hmm. Don't cost you much monthly.
That's a month. Imagine how much food you buy. Mm-hmm. $100 worth of food.
Gas.
Yeah, gas. Anything that's non-essential. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can stop going out to eat or buying drinks at the bar. You can skip one weekend, because anytime you walk out your house, you're spending no less than $100. So stay one night in the house and put that up as life insurance policy, for a life insurance policy, and you say you at like at least $300,000 for your kids, for your family, whoever is needed. And then also, if you have a family member who don't want to purchase the life insurance policy, you can get a life insurance policy on them. You know, they just have to sign off and you just pay it. I'm getting life insurance policies on all my friends, and you know, anybody that's gonna allow me to get a life insurance policy on y'all, I will.
Most definitely. We talk
I
about that all
will.
the time. Most definitely. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Especially if you have fear that family members or loved ones won't do right by you.
Yeah.
If your friend, you trust them enough, let your friend pay for it. And make sure that, you know, stuff is set in place. I mean, you can pay for plots,
Yep.
everything that you want ahead of time.
Yep.
If that's just, you got the funds to do it.
Exactly,
you know.
too, because if you don't trust nobody, you can definitely very well, like my father, my brother, he's in the mausoleum. So my dad bought a double mausoleum because he wants to go in there with his son. So he's already paying on
Towards
that.
that,
And my whole family, they were like, look, they got the whole wall free. We should all get that, and we will all, you know, be buried next to each other.
They do that in New Orleans.
Yeah, because you can do that. But then I was kind of like, but what if I have more kids?
Yeah.
What if I get married? You know what I'm saying? So that was the reason why I didn't do it, because yes, it's me and my son right now, and yes, it'll be me and my family. You know, I'll be with my family. But say I don't leave tomorrow, and I don't leave for another 15, 20 years, and I had 2 more kids, and I have a husband, I'm just going to let them be somewhere by themselves, and I'm just over here, you know? So that's why I didn't kind of go in with that, but at least we were there to talk about it, to discuss it, and if that was something we wanted to do, we still had that option of doing it. But yeah, the people were like, oh, I'm not gonna leave nobody no money. Well, pay for your stuff while you're here.
Yeah.
Don't leave it for everybody else to do. Go ahead and start paying on your spot. You can do it. Get buried by your grandmother, your mother. You know, people do things like that. So go ahead and pay for it if you don't want to leave nothing else to
Most
nobody.
definitely. Well, lady, this is the portion of the show where I like to turn it over to the guests. If there's anything that you want to spread out there, it's your floor to do as you please with it. If you got any questions for me, any shout outs, anything that you want to do, it's your time.
All right. So I think Jay-Z said that. I want to shout out to me. I want to thank me because I do feel like I'm a pretty strong person. So it's like I'm open to get into therapy and this, and like you say, I'm no good if, you know, to nobody else if my mental no good, but I just feel like I'm Superwoman. And I think that a lot of people can relate to that. With me, we just feel like it's nothing else for me to do but to do it, you know. I feel like I'm gonna figure something out, like I do everything else in life. So I'm just rolling with the punches, and yes, it may not be the best thing for me to do, but I feel like when I get there, which I'm trying to get myself there, because I know it's not the best thing, but I just feel like I can sit in a room and I can console and give the best advice to everybody else. But I won't take my own advice because I know what I need to do, and I know how it can help me. So I'm gonna tell you that because maybe you're strong enough to go and do it, but I'm just not there yet. So I'm not gonna withhold that information, but I'm gonna still give it. But I definitely want to just commend myself because I do feel like I have been, you know, through a lot. I want to thank you for inviting me to the show. And then I just want to promote my business, Crystal Adore Beauty. Y'all can follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Crystal Adore Beauty. CRYSTAL Adore ADORE Beauty, BEAUTY. I do lash extensions, I do Brazilian body waxing, and I also do ombre brows, tattoo brows, and microblading. So if y'all need any of those services, please, please, please check me out. And don't be mad, yes, my books do be booked a lot, but it's definitely worth the wait. So come and check me out.
Well, I definitely thank you for coming through. I definitely thank you for being as open as you have been, sharing your story, giving your input, your thoughts on the topic as well. And I got a request for my brother over there, if you don't mind, brother. I'd appreciate if you give us a little prayer so we can end this out, my brother. So come on, give it to us now, brother. Come on, give it to us,
Malcolm.
if you don't mind. I'll put you on the spot. My cameraman right here, y'all.
No, of course. Father God, I just want to thank you for conversations, Lord, because we understand that a lot of times when we're going through different things, it can take a conversation, it can take us releasing what we have on the inside for us to be able to expose ourselves to the healing, Lord. And I truly believe that you use Thought Provoking Podcast today as a vessel for that, a vessel for healing, because a lot of times you can just listen to someone and you can see darkness, but the thing that you're not understanding is when you're hearing the darkness and you're seeing the darkness, it's being revealed so that it can become exposed to the solution. So I thank you for Brianna's just transparency, and I thank you for a person like Will that's willing to not just listen but to be able to give that shoulder and that friend to be able to lean on. So I just pray for strength for her, her son, her family, and her son's father's family, that in this time of need that they can be able to get everything that they need. I pray that in the midst of all of this, when they feel that they're at their loneliest, they can understand that they can always talk to you. It may be those moments where they cannot talk to a person, but they can talk to you, and you're always going to be able to reveal to them the things that they need. And I just continue to just thank you, because in the midst of so much darkness, if we allow you to, you can always be that light at the end of the tunnel. In your mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I like that, man.
Thank you so much, Malcolm. I appreciate you.
So I appreciate you coming again, lady. And
Thank you
that's
for
the
having
episode
me.
of Thought Provoking Podcast. I'm your host, Will Brown. Until the next one, we'll see you later.